All right, I'm going to play you a Blondie track, and I'm going to play one called Picture This, because we're talking about pictures of Blondie, basically. It's a book called Blondie In Camera, 1978, by photographer Martyn Goddard. And we're going to hear from Mr. Martyn Goddard after this. Blondie and Picture This, which is exactly what the man sitting opposite me has done, because there's loads of his pictures of Blondie in this very handsome book called Blondie In Camera. It's all pictures taken in the year of 1978, and they're all pictures taken by Mr. Martyn Goddard, who's here with us now. Martyn, welcome to the show.
Oh, I'm pleased to be here.
First of all, congratulations on this. It's a terrific collection of pictures.
Thank you.
How did it come about? What sort of first led you to Blondie in 78?
It was really through the Telegraph Sunday magazine. I was a freelance photographer working there, and I was having to generate my own stories. Basically, I was a rock photographer. I've been working with the Jam, Sham 69, and a lot of the punk and new wave bands. So I was sitting in the office of the Telegraph and with the picture editor, and I said, well, there's this amazing band called Blondie with a terrific front lady fronting it. She'd make a great cover story. So,
were they known? I mean, they were known. I'd seen them in '77 in London, playing with television.
Yeah, but the editor of the Telegraph didn't know that, and they didn't know they'd been rolling around the floor on dingwalls. On the concert, and it was basically. I realised that she would look a fantastic cover girl, not just a punk. I was going to try and make her a cover girl, and this sort of slotted in with what the record company wanted. I didn't know this till recently when Alan Edwards sort of mentioned it was part of their grander scheme. But anyway, I conned the Telegraph to do a story. I offered to pay my own fare, £100 standby flight. I managed to get the Chrysalis to put me up in the Gramercy Park Hotel where Debbie, Harry and Chris were living because they were homeless.
Were they living living at the Gramercy Park?
Yeah, they were homeless, and it was. In fact, if they hadn't been living at the Gramercy Park Hotel, I don't think the shots would have been anywhere near as good.
Because it was very much a rock and roll hangout in that period.
Well, the barman at the Gramercy Park said it's for bands on the way up and on the way down.
It was a step up from the Chelsea Hotel.
Well, yeah. I mean, remember, I was incredibly naive. I'd never been to New York before, and I was sort of pinching myself that I was even there. So, I mean, you have to look at it in that context. There was no grand plan about what was going on in New York. I just hung around with the band and just went with the flow.
How long did you spend with them? Because there's a lot of pictures.
Well, I did a week on the first trip, right. And then 6 weeks later, I went back because the record company had liked the pictures so much. They said they wanted more band pictures that they could use for PR because Blondie was eating up pictures, basically, press pictures. And they also wanted record covers. What I could never believe is that I shot the Best of Blondie record cover 6 weeks after I'd shot the original stuff. Well, you wouldn't have think they'd have a big enough catalogue for the best of, would you, by then?
So it's important, isn't it, to say, certainly in terms of the book, that Blondie is a band. I mean, obviously, Debbie Harry is the face in many senses, and what a face. But
oh yeah, well that's why I'd sold her at the beginning. But the second trip was very much a band. I mean, and the band always. Pushed themselves forward as a band, and Debbie never forced herself forward. She realised she was a member of the band, but she also realised that she was the front of the band for images, basically.
Was she an easy person to photograph?
Oh, incredibly easy. I mean, she sort of ate up the camera. I mean, very little sort of direction was needed. She just lit up when you put her in front of her camera. I think because Chris Stein is a photographer, and I mean, he'd worked with her for years.
And she wasn't. I mean, this is no criticism. She wasn't as young as some of the people in that period, was she? Because she'd sort of been through bands before and all of that.
Yeah, she was in, I think, a band called the Stilettos. But she also loved Marilyn Monroe, so she'd modelled herself on Marilyn Monroe.
You can see that in the pictures.
Yeah. I mean, incredible. I mean, and also she had this amazing round face. Absolutely beautiful round face.
Is it fair to say, I mean, absolutely gorgeous. Is it fair to say, and this is something that struck me, I only met her a couple of times, I interviewed her once, I think, and that she has quite a large head, which is, she does, doesn't she?
Yeah, no, I mean, but actually that's to her advantage.
Yeah, of course,
actually.
Absolutely. But it was something I became very aware of. Yeah. She's got this very powerful face.
She is a unique looking woman.
And,
Yeah, it's incredible and so easy to photograph. Now, I had gone there with a plan. I'd taken a white vinyl record and I got her to kiss it. And the idea was to do this portrait with the kissed record, which became...
That was the albums?
Yeah, it was the album for Parallel Lines as a picture disc, and it was the cover for Picture This, the record you just played.
Right.
So, but that one frame of her licking the record was complete luck. I mean, it was all set up. I don't think I was even looking through the camera. I just hit the button as she did it. And it's the sort of seminal picture, really.
But most of the pictures in the book, are really not set up, are they? There's an awful lot of pictures of just in New York in 1978, basically.
Look, the thing about that is that you could just walk around New York with the band because no one knew them.
Yeah.
I mean, even in New York, they were very much in the art scene. They weren't in the general public scene. So we could just walk around the area in Midtown and not be disturbed and just take really informal pictures.
There's a picture with how did Nick Lowe, one of my mates and heroes, how did he get in there?
Well, also Dave Edmunds in there with Andy Warhol. They were playing, the Rock Pile were playing at the same time.
Right.
And we ended up at the same party. So again, I said I just hung along. I just got in the limo and I never knew where I was going. But I always seemed to end up having to go back by taxi because I just sort of hid behind the camera in these places.
There's a mix of black and white and colour, isn't there?
Yeah, because the black and white was very much more the reportage stuff. And remember, we're talking about 1978 here. A lot of magazines needed black and white. They didn't, I mean, like the record press only used black and white, really. Yeah. And it was only the colour supplements. And remember, there were only 4 colour supplements then, so... there was a market for black and white. And, of course, it was for the shots hanging around and the street shots. They look so much nicer in the black and white.
You also get a sense of that New York that they were part of. There's David Johansen's in there. You get a sense that they're part of this kind of downtown scene.
They were part of the New York arts scene. I mean, in the shoot, there was Stephen Sprouse sitting in the bedroom while we were shooting the pictures out on the veranda. Oh, and you were talking about Art Deco recently, and one of the shots has got the Chrysler building in, which is the Art Deco building.
Deco monument of them all. After that, did you meet them again or photograph them again?
Yeah, well, of course, they came and opened the original exhibition I had, which was Blondie In Camera in 1978. Which
you had an exhibition then?
Yeah, the Morandi Gallery, and they opened it, and it was used as a sort of press launch for Picture This, and the whole band came, and in the book you'll see at the end everyone fighting to get into the gallery.
And you've got another exhibition coming up.
Yeah, we're having an exhibition which opens on the same day as the original exhibition, which is the 14th of August at the Barbican Music Library. Free exhibition.
Downstairs? Downstairs from me?
Well, you can go, and it's free.
It's
free exhibition, and so...
is it of these pictures, basically?
Yes, it basically draws on the book. And there will also be a lot of memorabilia from the period as well, which obviously we can't get in a book.
Where did the snake come from?
Oh, that's Julius Squeezer. That is the Alice Cooper snake.
Is it really?
And because Blondie was supporting Alice Cooper at the Spectrum Theatre in Philadelphia, where we had this amazing Beano trip from New York, which was a bit of a break from recording Parallel Lines, which they were really bored with. Wow. I mean, they weren't really a band that wanted to do Mike Chapman type overdubbing recording. So the Beano trip down to the Spectrum was amazing, and Debbie just was in the green room with Chris, and then Julius Squeezer came in before he was going on. My great regret is that I never saw Alice Cooper with Julius Squeezer wrapped round him on stage.
Well, you got Debbie Harry with Snake.
Yeah.
You got Debbie Harry with just about everybody in here. She's all over the book. But then so are the rest of the band. It's called Blondie In Camera, 1978. When does the exhibition start?
Starts on the 14th of August.
And that's at the Barbican Music Library, which is a fantastic resource anyway. And it's free. And we've been hearing about all of that from photographer Martyn Goddard. Martyn, thank you very, very much.